I'm here with Derby Telegraph Chief Football Writer Steve Nicholson. Steve, Derby County players are back after the international break. What's the latest team news?
Well, Paul Clement's just told me that everybody's returned fit from international duty, which is a bonus always. So he'll have a fully fit squad to select from. Obviously, no Craig Forsyth and no Will Hughes, who are long-term injuries. And the only other bit of injury news is that young defender Max Lowe, who's been trying to recover from a hamstring problem, has had a setback. The same hamstring is still causing him problems, so he's likely to be out for longer than expected. And of course, they've been looking at Max to provide cover for Stephen Warnock at left back.
Obviously, in light of the setback for Max, do you think that will change Derby County's stance in the loan market?
The loan market, emergency loan market, closes next Thursday. And after that, of course, clubs cannot do any business until the January transfer window opens. So clubs have got to be really aware of this. You know, it's the last chance maybe to get somebody in if they feel it's necessary. Paul Clement says he won't be going into the loan market for cover at left back. He feels that Stephen Warnock has shown in the last two games, particularly against Nottingham Forest, which was his best game, I thought. He's shown in two games that he has the qualities to fill that position. And if need be, Chris Baird can move across to left back and fill in there. Chris, of course, we know is a very versatile player. He's played right back, holding role in midfield, but Paul Clement says he would have no qualms about playing him at left back as well.
And Cardiff City are at the iPro Stadium on Saturday, Steve. It's the first of 4 games for Derby County against teams in the top 10 of the Championship. It looks like a tough test.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to go into cliches, but all games are tough. You know, winning a football match alone is a tough ask. But these 4 games, you know, Cardiff, as you say, Hull City, Sheffield Wednesday and Brighton are all going well. They've all got very strong defensive records. Cardiff will come here having conceded only once in the last 6 games. They've only lost 1 of the last 8 games. Very well organised, very well drilled under Russell Slade. Don't score many goals, so the first goal in this match could be crucial. I feel they'll probably come and try and stifle Derby, as we saw Middlesbrough do and Burnley do. So, yeah, I'd say 4 games coming up. The opposition have done really well this season so far, but as Paul Clement told me, it's a stern test, but it's also a stern test for the opponents as well.
And as you said, Steve, all the players have come back fit from the international break. It leaves Paul Clement with quite a difficult selection to make for the game.
Yeah, I ask him about this every week, and he says, well, it happens every week, this. You know, he has these sleepless nights running up to the game because he's got to pick the 11 that run out there, and that's not as easy as people think. You know, we all have our thoughts on who the 11 should be, and it's easy to point the finger afterwards if the result doesn't go the right way. He's got to pick the team beforehand, so... but there are players certainly knocking on the door. I watched Tom Ince score a fantastic hat-trick in a friendly last week. So he'll be itching to get back in the starting 11. Jacob Butterfield also. He played very well in 4 games, then lost his place at Forest. So he'll be wanting to go straight back in there. And Craig Bryson, of course, you know, we've not seen him in the first team since the opening day of the season. He's now fit again after a knee injury, and he really will be trying to force his way in. So yeah, big squad, strong squad, and with that comes a dilemma each week of picking the right 11.
And finally, Steve, Paul Clement today talked about the tragic events in Paris last week. What did he have to say?
Yeah, like us all, Paul watched it unfold on Friday night. You know, awful scenes. He watched it unfold, and slightly different for him because he lived in Paris, on the outskirts of Paris, for 18 months. He was at Paris Saint-Germain as assistant coach to Carlo Ancelotti for 2 years. So those places we saw, you know, the stadium and those other areas, he knows those areas well. He'll have been to those areas, and as he said, it was terribly sad to see what happened. Almost incomprehensible, he said. And we also asked him about the Wembley game, England-France. He wasn't at Wembley, he watched on TV, and he just said he felt incredibly emotional that night, and it was an emotionally charged evening when football united, you know, against terrorism. And he was, as I say, it was interesting to listen to someone who knew the area so well, and like us all, he was terribly sad at the events.